Hello, Percy.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy R.A.S, and today I got something new. So a lot of people are curious about Reze and what kind of character she is and what purpose she does serve in the story. And today I will explain that and go deeper into this explaining of what Fujimoto's true intentions were. And I also have theories, facts, explanations, Makima's intentions, and everything. I hope y'all enjoy, and let's just get straight into it. But before we get into this video does contain heavy Chainsaw Man manga spoilers. So if you are anime only and you just don't want to get spoiled, please do not watch this video. Thank you. Reze's name refers to the word Reze, meaning destroy or demolish. She first appears in chapter 40 of the manga and chapter 12 of the anime. She's also in a total of 19 chapters in this manga series. She is a young woman or young girl that has a very slim body and shoulder-length black hair with a purple hue and emerald green eyes that resembles a feline. Makima and Reze are presented as two love interests for Denji. Denji struggles to choose one of them, but Makima and Reze are not only simple interests, but they also represent different things in the ways of life. This is shown when Reze continues to ask the question, which would you rather be, a country mouse or a town mouse? Okay, so before we get into this, we have to talk about before we get into what Denji's relationship with Reze means, we have to talk about what Denji's relationship with Makima means. And the difference between the town mouse and the country mouse is what, this question is referring to, the two ways of life. On one hand, Makima is the first person to treat Denji as a person, not shining away from him because he might smell weird or look weird. Makima is a positive influence on Denji's life, and she cheers him up when he's down and represents a goal or, a reason to live for Denji. Denji looks at her for advice and believes her, and he'll do anything for her because she has given Denji a life where he is taken care of and doesn't have to worry about money, food, or a place to sleep or call home. He has all that provided for him, and he'll do anything to keep it, which is keep obeying Makima's every command, no matter if his life gets put in danger having to fight, devils. While Reze gives Denji more of a normal life, you're in high school and you have a girlfriend. You do things like go see her at work, making jokes with each other, laughing together, studying together, going on dates, etc. Denji doesn't have to risk his life, where he could live freely and don't have to go to a devil working agency and hunt down and kill devils, or impossibly die. In chapter 40, we first see Reze wearing a loose shirt and a drawing of a bell on the front and a backpack, but at the school she's seen wearing a plain white shirt and shorts. We first see Reze react with Denji when she opens her phone booth to see Denji hiding from the rain, and she is a kind and gentle girl who we can tell has a crush on Denji from the very get-go. Reze invites Denji to go to where she works at so she can repay him for the flower he gave her earlier. And then we see these two start getting closer and closer as time goes on. After a week of Denji going to see Reze at the coffee shop, Reze starts to feel sympathy for Denji when she learns he's never been to school, and then she comments on how not going to school while being a devil hunter is very rare. We learn that in Reze's backstory, she has a lot in common with Denji, but we'll get into that later. Reze then asks Denji to go to school with her at that night. And while they're at school, Reze comments on how he's never been to school again and his life is messed up and he shouldn't be happy with living with the bare minimum. She asks Denji, which would he rather be, a town mouse or a country mouse? The Angel Devil during the arc goes further into detail on what this question means. The town mouse and the country mouse is one of Aesop's fables, part of a collection that's created by Aesop. He is a slave and a storyteller who was believed to live in ancient Greece. In short, the fable presents two conflicting ways of life. The country mouse lives peacefully in the countryside, but the negative side is that he does not have much food or is not as luxurious. The town mouse has access to a variety of different food, but instead has to live in the midst of all sorts of dangerous hazards that endangers its safety. The trade-off in the town mouse would be, peacefully live to food, Denji chooses the life of a town mouse because his only real desires are food and entertainment, regardless of the danger. So Reze asks him if he would like to go to a carnival because, since a carnival is just about food and fun. But as Reze heads to the bathroom, she is attacked by an assassin that had a contract with the Typhoon Devil to get Chainsaw Man's heart. But Reze suffocates the man to death while singing a Russian song called Jane Fell Asleep in the Church. This is foreshadowing for something that we'll see in the future. And then we see Ree's true colors as she knows the Typhoon Devil, and the Typhoon Devil refers to her as Lady Reze. She tells the Typhoon Devil she'll overlook the incident if, the Typhoon Devil gets rid of the body. This is where we see Reze has manipulating Denji this whole time, and she has an ulterior motive. She later returns to Denji as if nothing happened, and then the next day Reze and Denji go to a carnival together, and they are seen together at a spot later to get a good view for the fireworks. Reze tells Denji again how she feels about how she thinks 16-year-olds that has never been to school shouldn't fight devils, and the government shouldn't allow something like that. Then she manipulates Denji by telling him to run away with her, and she'll make him happy and she'll protect him for all his life. Denji is tempted by this offer but declines, saying he's happy with his situation because he is making progress in the devil hunting agency. Reze then asks Denji if there's someone else that he likes besides her. Then she kisses him, but after a few moments Denji falls backwards, and it is revealed that Reze bit off his tongue, and then she stabs Denji in the back and slices his throat and slices his hand before he can pull his chainsaw cord. But right before Denji is going to get his heart stolen, Beam comes out of nowhere and saves Denji, and we see Beam cursing at himself for not realizing that he smelled bomb. Reze then turns into one of the weapon hybrids, aka the Bomb Devil. She's one of the 9 we see in the show. Okay, so I'm not going to go over every detail that happens in this arc. I'm just going to go over all the abilities she shows. If you want to see a full breakdown of this arc, then go and watch my chapter reviews. I go over everything and what stuff means. I'll leave a link below in the description. I drop character reviews every 2 to 3 days, but as a college football player, it's not that easy. But the main idea is that Beam tells us that he knows Reze is partnered with the Gun Devil, because when Aki asked him, he said he promised Makima or he'll be killed if he says who it is. So we never learned how or why Beam really knows of why Reze is partnered with the Gun Devil, but I do have a theory. Okay, but before we get into this theory, we do have to go into Reze's backstory a little bit to understand. So Reze's backstory plays a big part with Denji, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So Kishibe tells Aki that there's this Soviet Union urban legend of the USSR military branch that have kidnapped orphan children and trained them to be soldiers, as well as using them as test subjects. Explaining the story to be confirmed true after an American journalist located it, Kishibe reveals that Reze is part of one of those children, referring to them as a guinea pig. Okay, so this is my theory. So we know the Gun Devil's body was split up between all the countries, and the Soviet Union having 28%. But before Beam was a fiend, he was a regular devil swimming in the Soviet Union, and he happened to come across the Gun Devil and his allies, like Reze and the Typhoon Devil. During this process, Makima was still trying to find and create her hybrid Special Division 5 and was looking where to find all the weapon hybrids. So when Makima found Beam, because she was looking for the Chainsaw Devil's allies, so Makima either controlled Beam or he just flat out told her where the Bomb Devil's location was at. And she knew that since she was associated with the Gun Devil, Makima knew that the Gun Devil would send his allies to try and kill the Chainsaw Man first. And Makima told Beam not to tell anybody or he died, because he doesn't want her true plan to get out. And when Reze comes to Japan to capture or take Denji's heart, that's perfect, because Makima could soon capture her so that she can control her for the future. But this is just all speculation, like none of this has been confirmed yet. And also, let me know if you want a video on the history between Makima and the Gun Devil. I'll go deeper into that. Let me know in the comments. Reze, much like all the weapon hybrids, need to do something with their body that starts her transformation. She, by pulling a pin on her neck, much like a grenade, can cause herself to explode, transforming into her hybrid form. She's capable of multiple things in this hybrid form too. Reze can cause herself to explode and transform into the hybrid form. She can also perform the same technique, but instead just transforming, she blows her head off and leaves the rest of the body as a decoy to distract her opponents. This decoy can hold its own and throw it, and its head explodes just like the bomb, and it reveals to transform into Reze. And the headless decoy body can be remotely controlled and act as a bomb as it's catching its targets off guard. Reze becomes more drastically durable as she can withstand a serious kick from the violence fiend without taking any damage. Her body can also withstand her own explosions without taking any damage and fall from the sky at an immense velocity. After pulling the pin on her neck, Rin gains the ability to create explosions, and the explosions are powerful enough to destroy vehicles, buildings, and roads. Her explosions are often effective against other devils too, being capable of harming the Shark Fiend and Denji in his hyper form. Besides that, Reze did not take any damage from her own explosion unless she desires, allowing her to use her powers without worrying about harming herself, right? By releasing said explosion from her arms and legs, Reze can enhance her physical attacks and mobility with the explosive force from her blast. She can also travel through the air by causing continuous explosions and consecutive explosions, being capable of keeping up with cars. By infusing her attacks with explosive force, Reze's punches and kicks become more devastating. Her explosive unnamed attacks have also been shown to be powerful enough to destroy trucks and send Denji flying several feet into the air. Reze is able to use the explosive force created from her blast to increase her movement speed by releasing a massive explosion. Reze was able to send herself flying several feet into the air, and she is also able to use her explosion to release Aki in a car in a short period of time. She also has explosive spark. By flicking her hands, Reze can release a spark which explodes upon impact. This attack serves as a long-range projectile and is powerful enough to kill ordinary humans. She can also detonate herself. Besides her ability to release explosions from her body, Reze also has the power to turn her parts of her body into bombs, unlike her normal explosion, which are more instantaneous. The explosive flesh behaves more like a remote bomb. The body part that Reze loses by using them as explosive do not appear to cause her damage, since she is able to regrow them without needing to drink blood. Reze can also transform her limbs into torpedoes, which makes her punches and kicks more devastating, and she does not appear to take damage from said torpedo detonation. As a hybrid, Reze is able to restore her health by consuming blood. After drinking blood from the Typhoon Devil, she could regrow her whole severed leg instantaneously. Also, due to being a hybrid, Reze is immortal and nearly unkillable. She can survive being beheaded, bisected, and takes all kinds of injuries that will kill most devils. And even if she does die, as long as someone pulls a pin on her neck, she can come back to life in perfect condition. Her only weakness is water. She cannot use her explosions if she gets wet, since the moisture prevents her from generating the necessary sparks for her explosion. She's basically a Bakugo, but with a bigger weakness. As we learn, Reze is from Russia and was forced to be trained as a military weapon as a child called a Muramuto, Kishibe calls it, that Denji was involved in. So we see Reze donate to the people that Denji donated to when they gave her and him the flower, and she looks at a flower and it reminds her of Denji. So she misses the train on purpose and makes her way to Denji to the calf at noon like he promises, but as she's on the way, she's ambushed by Makima and the Angel Devil. Makima answers Reze's question, telling us that Makima has been listening this whole time by going to a more twisted meaning of what this question means to Makima. Makima says she likes the country mouse because she would use dogs to dig them out from underground in the countryside, and tells Reze that she finds this rather calming. Makima does not mirror herself to mice like the other characters do. Makima is the person who uses dogs to catch trouble-making mice to save her crops. She was never in the same level as other characters. She established that she is far beyond them. And think of your dog, for example. You feed it, you wash it, you give it a place to sleep, but you give it commands and you tell like sit, roll over, and paw, right? But if they disobey you or they don't do what you say, then you punish them. It's the same with Denji. Denji does everything Makima says, while Makima uses her dogs like Denji to take out mice, which are Makima's enemies, for her. If Denji doesn't do what Makima says, then Denji dies. Now, while Reze has empathy for Denji because she understands his situation, with her being similar, she was forced to be used as a child soldier, just like how Denji is forced to be used to kill devils, and doesn't get the freedom to go to school even though he's 16. That's why she asks him to go to school with her, at night because it's something that they've always wanted to do, and she relates to Denji in a way, you know. But before Reze's final moment, she asks herself why she didn't kill Denji when they first met, and she tells us the truth, saying that she's never been to school either, and that's the last time we see her, or you know, so we thought. But I really want to know, what do you guys think? Like, if you were Denji, what would you choose? Would you choose to be with Makima, have, you know, good food, nice place, but you have to risk your life killing devils? Or would you choose a normal life, a high school, you know, with your girlfriend, but you don't have the nice luxury and you have to live in poverty? What would, like, put it down in the comments below. Okay, so Reze later returns in chapter 86 of the manga, but despite being defeated by the hands of Makima, she is summoned as a part of a team of weapon hybrids to battle the fully powered Chainsaw Devil. While under Makima's control, she behaves great, like really different now. She gives great affection to Makima, you know, contradicting her original character. After Makima commands her agents to attack, Reze, along with other hybrids pulled out of their respective weapon, transforming themselves into their hybrid forms, they lunge at Denji. And as each makes contact, they are blown away by the force of him leaping forward. Later, Reze blasts through a building and grabs Denji, carrying him into the sky. Flipping mid-air, Denji decapitates Reze before he is impaled by the spear hybrid. Reze is also present during the final confrontation of Makima and the Chainsaw Man. During this confrontation, Reze and the whip hybrid both fly toward Denji as he cries out as he spins in mid-air, slicing Reze with one of his chainsaws on his arm and cutting the whip hybrid and the spear hybrid with one on his leg. Denji and the bodies of Reze, the whip hybrid, and the spear hybrid all fall to the ground. And that's the last time we see Reze in the manga so far up to this point. Alright, so my personal opinion about Reze, I really like this character, and not because she's just, you know, a bomb hybrid. Yes, that plays a big part because we get to see some cool Bakugo and Chainsaw Man. But I love the message she sends because I don't know about y'all, but this is a dangerous world we live in. And compared to the living in the countryside, it speaks truth because, you know, I'm from Atlanta. And Atlanta is very dangerous compared to somewhere like the suburbs or somewhere like in the countryside. It's not as dangerous. And I think we all can relate to what Fujimoto is trying to tell us here, that we have to be careful. And like, would we rather, you know, go in the countryside and just, you know, have to live in poverty? Or would we rather live in a city and live good, but we also have a bigger chance of being harmed or even worse, you know? Whew. All right, man. That's the end of the video. Honestly, guys, I feel like this is the vid. Like, if y'all knew how much studying I did for this vid, like, you wouldn't understand. Like, it's really hard to be a YouTuber, man, you know. But I really had so much, I love doing this, and I had so much fun. Hey, if y'all made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe. If you want to see more of these, let me know, and comment, you know, who you want to see next. And comment also, what would you rather be, the country mouse or the town mouse? I'm glad to hear, and I always want to hear what you guys say about this. You know, I'm glad I was also able to go into a deeper meaning of what this character really is and what the purpose she serves in this story. I know I probably missed, you know, some details here and there, but you know, you're more than welcome to put in the comments, and I'll definitely read it and be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. But I think I did a good job explaining, you know, who Reze is, what she shows, what she does. And just so you know, like, you know, when I come out with a chapter review, then that's me going into deeper of the Bomb Girl arc. So you understand what really goes on to me just explaining her powers. You know, I didn't leave out the Bomb Girl arc. I didn't forget about it. But anyway, sorry, this outro is getting a little too long. But hey, just comment who you guys want to see next, or comment anything. Like, subscribe, please. Love you guys. All right, R.A.S out. Bye.